everybody and welcome back to another video. So today I will be doing a final review, final thoughts, just a little bit of a discussion about the cruise to Norway that I recently went on. So just to give you a quick roundup of the cruise as a whole, we went on P&O Cruises Iona, we went to the Norwegian fjords for a week, and we went to 4 ports. We went to Stavanger, Olden, Hellesilt, Haugesund. 3 of those ports we've been to. We hadn't been to Hellesilt before, so that was a nice surprise. Very lovely port. I'll talk about that a bit later. And we stayed in a standard balcony on deck 5. So first of all, I just want to talk about the cruise as a whole, what we did for the week, and our overall, I guess, experience of the onboard aspect. So I won't talk about the ports for a minute. I'll just be talking about the ship. So our plan, we always went in, when we booked this, we always went in with that thought and feeling of we're just going to relax. We don't want to do anything. We don't really want to dress up for the formal nights. Or formal night, I should say. We didn't really have many plans, or we didn't want to sort of get stuck into many activities. We just wanted to spend a week on a cruise, sort of chilling, relaxing, reading a book, playing a couple of games, maybe do some quizzes. But ultimately, we didn't want this cruise to be like really active, doing a bit of everything. We just wanted to chill, and that's exactly what we did, and we really enjoyed it. Sophie, I did mention this in my vlogs, but Sophie brought, I want to say 7 books. I might have to go back and rewatch my vlog to actually see how many she brought, but she ended up, I think, reading 5. Now I won't read 5 books in a year, let alone a week. So she did very good with that, but she definitely did do a lot of reading. We were maybe sitting in the atrium, I was maybe doing a quiz, a word search. She would be there reading either a book or on her Kindle. So she definitely did what she said she wanted to do. I pretty much did the same. I don't read, and because there's no Wi-Fi or anything, I didn't take any like films or anything. I didn't download anything because I didn't want that to be the whole week of just me essentially doing what I do at home but on a cruise. So I took a word search book with me, and yes, I did like 20, so I'm proud of myself for that. So I do love a word search book. And we did sort of other relaxing, like sort of relaxation areas. We went to the spa, we did the 2-hour thermal suite pass, which was like an aquatherapy pool. They had jets, they had sort of things that you can sort of sit on, and then again the jets sort of come up and hit you in the face. There were like steam rooms, there was a sauna, there were sort of showers with all sort of different jets coming out, all cold, and like they had like sounds of like birds, and then thunder and lightning, and then like showers just proper hitting you, so all sorts of things. So that was really nice for 2 hours. We also just sat on the balcony. That's pretty much why we get a balcony. The main reason I've said this in the vlog is to people watch. We love sitting on the balcony with a cup of tea or coffee, maybe some food, obviously, and just to sit and watch people. It sounds really strange, but I'm sure everyone does it, especially on a cruise, especially if you're on that right side, to see people potentially rushing back up to the ship when they're a bit late coming back on. This sounds bad, but I really hope one day on one of these cruises that I sail on, I'm going to witness people being late and people running up to the ship, because it's a common thing, it's well known, it's sort of, I say, standard procedure for a cruise ship. If you're going in ashore independently and you're late back on, the ship won't wait for you, and that's a given. I don't really have anything against that. I think that's perfectly fine. The ship has a schedule and they have to stick to it. It's your fault if you're not back on in time. But one of these days I really hope to see someone run, because it would be embarrassing for that person. I've seen that on so many other videos, and I'm so desperate to witness it myself. It sounds really bad, but yeah, that's one of the reasons, people watching. But we also like to sit and just listen to music. I always bring my headphones, obviously download, make sure I've got loads of downloaded songs on my Spotify playlists, and maybe just sit and have a chat. Like that's what we like doing, and we are so glad that we did just relax on this cruise. We didn't really do much at all. We did partake in a couple of games, we did some quizzes, we did an individual quiz, which is obviously speaks for itself. We did a music quiz, and we did the Battle of Brody's in Brody's pub, where they just split one half of the room against each other. You get some questions, you have to pick a number. From that number you can pick easy, medium or hard, whichever question you want to choose, and then if you don't guess it correctly, the other team has a chance to steal that question for the half amount of points that you would have got if you won it. We did that and we won it. I do think I am quite helpful when it comes to those types of games, because I'm really good with like so random knowledge. Like I'm really good at general knowledge questions, because a lot of these questions I know the answer to. Like some of them are just so random, like who's gonna know them? But I know them because for some reason I found out the answer like ages ago randomly, like on Twitter or something. So I do love a quiz. We also made our way around the 35 places to eat on board, and yes, there are 35 places to eat on Iona. We didn't go to every single place, but we did go to various restaurants. We went to the Glass House, we went to the Olive Grove, we went to the Keel and Cow, we went to the Quays, we went to the buffet. So many good places to eat on Iona. There are loads of places that are included, so you've got the buffet, you've got the Quays. Most of the menu on the Olive Grove is free. There's just a couple of things that are a sort of cover charge, and when I say cover charge I mean like 50p for a side of french fries. That's it. So that was really nice. Went to the Glass House. We love the Glass House. They do like tapas, or you can get sort of a trio of one type of food item. For example, you can get the chicken trio, which is just 3 different types of chicken and little sides and little bits. We love that. The Quays is a really nice place to eat. It's sort of like a 3-place food court if you want to go and just get one of 3 things, or you can get all 3. There's the fish and chips, Asian like katsu curry, pad thai, stuff like that, or there's like burgers and like southern fried chicken and things like that. That's all included. We did do that a couple of times, which was really nice. It's a nice change, sort of just going from the buffet to the Quays, or you know, it's nice to do different things when you're on a cruise. And because Iona has so many different places to eat, you really can do something different every day. If you watched my actual vlogs of the cruise, you will know we didn't do the formal nights. Now, don't get me wrong, we do love dressing up. We do enjoy formal nights on a cruise, but because we wanted to just relax, we didn't really want to make much of an effort in the evenings. We didn't go out of our cabin during the evening on formal night. We did have room service. We loved it. We just watched a couple of episodes of like Criminal Minds, FBI, 911, those American TV shows that Sophie loves. They were on the cabin TV, so we did that. I just want to reiterate again, formal nights are optional. You don't have to, when they have a formal night, you don't have to dress up, but just bear in mind that many venues will have a dress code, so if you don't want to dress up, you're probably best going maybe to the Quays, the buffet, something like that for dinner. And some of the bars do have the dress code as well, and they will enforce it, so just bear that in mind. But you absolutely do not have to dress up. If you want to dress up, amazing. There are some lovely photo places, there are lovely restaurants and bars to sit and have a drink, have some food. So it just depends on your preference. There's no obligation to do it, but it's just, yes, it's an optional thing. We didn't want to do it, we just wanted to relax. All in all, the time we spent on board the ship, we really did just chill. We tried to do a couple of things. Sometimes we just decided no, we want to go back, or sometimes we tried to go into a quiz but there'll be no tables available, so again we just sort of did something else. We walked around. So there is plenty to do on the ship, or on any cruise ship. I mean, depending on what you want to, you know, what your preference is. But we really did make the most of just having a week of sort of not really doing much. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do prefer active holidays. Like, and when I say active, I mean like Disney. We're not particularly fans of like sitting around all-inclusive sunbathing every day. We used to, but we're not fans of that anymore. We want to be doing something every day. We want to be out, we want to be exploring. We do want to be sunbathing. We will have rest days, but, and when I say like out activities exploring, I don't mean walking holidays or like hiking or that type of activity. We mean like walking around a town, going to Disney, going to the parks, you know, something like that. So it's a bit strange how I just described it in that way, but you know what I mean. But like I've mentioned, this one holiday we did just want to do the complete opposite of what we usually do. We just wanted to sit and do nothing, and that's what we did. So we had a lovely time on board. There is so much to do on Iona, so you really won't be bored. So if you want to go on and do so many things, just look in the daily horizon, because you'll be literally going from one place to another. So let's now talk about the ports. So Stavanger, Olden, Hellesylt, Haugesund, and I actually know that they're all pronounced correctly now, because I always listen to what the officers of the bridge and the captain, what he says or she says. So, and they did say it exactly like that. So I'm glad that I got it right. There are some ports in Norway that there is no way ever that you will get it right. But those 4 are nice and easy to say. So as I've mentioned, we have done 3 out of the 4 ports. We did pretty much the same thing in Stavanger that we've always done, because Stavanger is such an easy, I call it an easy port. You just get off and everything is within distance of the ship. There's no sort of driving necessary. There's no going somewhere specific unless you want to go somewhere specific. There are places in Stavanger like Pulpit Rock, which is this really sort of high landmark that you can sort of stand right on the edge of. I wouldn't say that's probably the best thing to do, but it's a really popular landmark, and you do have to, I think, get a boat there, or you have to, there is like some sort of transport needed to get there. But in the sort of the harbour of Stavanger, there's loads of shops, there's a market, there's some lovely, if you go off the ship and sort of go to the right and go up this little slight hill, you'll then find some lovely cute white houses with like cobbled streets, and they're really cute. And you can also get a good view of the ship that sort of in that area. So with Stavanger, we just did the same thing that we've always done. We've done that port 3 times now, and it's a lovely first port, I would say, when you go to the fjords, because you're not directly into the fjords, but it's a lovely sort of Scandinavian, it's really got that Scandi feel. So it's a lovely first port to go to. Then it was Olden. Now Olden is very popular for 2 things. There's the Loen Skylift and the Brixton Glacier, 2 of which are very, very popular. And I would say if you're wanting to visit either one or both on the same day, make sure you do your research. With the Skylift, I would pre-book your tickets. With the Brixton Glacier, it's not like a building or a venue where you don't have to book tickets to it, but it is a hike. You can drive there and see it. We, as you've seen in the video, sort of went for a walk, and then we were like, hang on, should we go and see if we can actually make it to the glacier? Turns out it was about an hour walk. We're not doing that. So you will see in this vlog that we just went for a walk around like the sort of just right as you come out of the port. You will know when you visit Olden, it's very much the same as sort of this standard Norwegian fjord ports. There's not a lot to do. You do have to maybe go on a shore excursion if you maybe want to see more of the port or more of the fjord. But we sort of, our aim was to get off and just go for a walk, and that's what we did. So Olden is a lovely place. Again, if you're wanting to do the glacier or the Skylift, I would do your research. I know just from when Mum and Soph went on the Skylift last year, make sure if you're not going to book a ticket, get off like first thing and purchase a ticket, because they will go throughout the day. It's a very, very, very popular attraction. And then I just wanted to mention the lovely sail away that the locals do in Olden. So you will have seen now, again, if you've watched my vlogs, but the locals of Olden, when the ship decide, well, just about start sailing away, they get out a massive speaker, just puts it almost right in front of the ship, like on like the dock side, and they start playing sort of your classic songs. And when I say classic songs, I mean Sweet Caroline is one of them. There's Time to Say Goodbye, as we're sailing away, they're literally just playing that song while like waving flags. It's so funny, but it's so sweet. They do We Are Sailing is the first song. Ironic because we're not actually sailing at that point. It's like the first song they play, but it's such a sweet thing to do, and it just shows that it's like it works both ways. Like, we love going there, and judging from the reaction and the you know, the sail away that they put on, they love having us there. And I think it really helps for, like, I guess, tourism. That's probably how they make a lot of their money, like the gift shops and the, you know, the landmarks. And I just think from like a guest or tourist point of view, it is a beautiful, beautiful place to go. I think it's one of my favourite ports to visit. It's just one of those ports where you sort of wake up and you go, oh my god, and like you never get tired of the view. Next port was Hellesylt. We hadn't been there before, so we were pleasantly surprised. I mean, it was again one of those ports where there wasn't much to do. It was very much walk around, like the sort of the gardeny area, the greenery. There was a lovely waterfall that you could walk across a bridge and take a photo. There was this, I did briefly vlog it, there was a little sort of beach area where you're allowed to go and swim in the water. We didn't, obviously, because it was freezing, but we did see someone jump in from the sort of watchtower. You're allowed to jump in, and yeah, it was quite cold and chilly, and apparently there were jellyfish in the water. So yeah, not for me. But it was lovely watching it. But it was a lovely port. It was really, really nice. And what I will say is, a lot of people that when you're docked in Hellesylt, a lot of guests and people do end up getting a ferry to the next port along, which is called Geiranger. Now, I briefly mentioned it, I think, but we actually visited Geiranger on our first ever Norwegian fjords cruise. Beautiful, stunning, but again, we've already done it, so we decided not to go over there. But it is a beautiful port as well. And then finally, Haugesund was the last port of call. We didn't really feel the need to get off at that port on this cruise. We did it last year. We walked across the bridge, as you may have seen. And then when you get to sort of the town centre, it does feel like just going through my local town, like when I'm at home. So although it's a lovely port, we decided not to get off because we've already seen it before and there wasn't really much else to see. But if you're going into Haugesund, I would definitely recommend walking across the bridge. You can walk across it from the actual ship. There's no sort of driving needed. I think it took us about 20-25 minutes potentially to get from the ship into the town. Yes, it's a lovely walk across there, and there are some lovely shops in there. Just one shop I'll mention, there's this massive sweet shop. When we went there last year, the shop was full of English people buying sweets. Don't know why, we've got our own sweet shops. But yeah, it's a really nice port. We just didn't feel the need to get off this time. I will never ever stop saying this, but the Norwegian fjords are probably some of the most beautiful places to visit in the world. I think if it's your first cruise and that's where you go, like everywhere else you go is probably going to be like, yeah, not as nice as the fjords though. I just think that the fjords are just beautiful. And I think if anyone's thinking of going on a cruise, I know for P&O, Norway and the fjords is the most popular itinerary. So I just know that they're very popular amongst everyone in the cruise industry as well. And it's so good because a lot of these ports you won't really visit by land. You have to get to them via boat or ship. So this is the best way to visit the fjords, is by cruise ship. And then moving on to the cabin. So balcony cabin, we were in 5601. I don't know why, but that was really easy to remember. I was like 5601. I don't know why. Like every time I said, when they asked for a cabin, I was like 5601. That's how I said it. But anyway, really nice location. We, for some reason, I don't know why, just thinking back now, I don't know why we thought this, but we thought that the cabin that we chose, the only area that we could choose from, because we booked this very last minute, was on deck 5. And we thought, oh, deck 5, it's really low down, it's going to be really dark, it's like, it's just not going to be a great location. I don't know why we thought that, because that was probably the best location I've been in. You're close to a lot of things, you're far down, and so if you get any sort of motion or movement of the ship, or as Captain Wesley says, motion of the ocean, he loves that phrase, if you're low down, it's better for you. So that was really good. We were midship, well, we were sort of mid-aft, so again, we were sort of close to everything. So I don't know why we maybe had concerns about it, but it was such a great location. We were also a bit concerned about the balcony because it was classed as shaded. It wasn't like the balconies above, like on like deck 9 and above. But again, we felt it was really enclosed, it was private, it was so quiet. It was so quiet. So if anyone wants a quiet location on Iona, deck 5 is the way to go. I think it's because we'd never been that low before. I think the lowest we've been was deck 9, and that was on Britannia. Yeah, it was Britannia. But yeah, like deck 5 was great. Like you just had to walk up one flight of stairs and you're at the atrium and basically everything that you want to see. The only time we had to get the lift, because it was quite a distance, was to the buffet. But again, that wasn't really much of an issue. So I think in terms of location, it was great. Like, so we're really happy with the location. We loved the cabin. We had no issues about the cabin. Okay, I guess this is one thing about the cabin. It was specifically the beds and the pillows. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The pillows aren't great on there because for me, 2 was too many for my head, but then 1 wasn't enough. So I felt like there was just no in between. So that was a bit annoying. But yeah, everything else about the cabin we really liked. So yeah, all in all in terms of the review of the cabin, all positive. So just thinking back, we had a great time. We love going on cruises. We love Iona. This is the 2nd time we've been on her now. I think she is my favourite ship along with Britannia. Like for P&O, my favourite ship probably is still Queen Anne, even though I've only got a day on her. I think she's still my favourite ship. But in terms of this cruise, we had a lovely time. I would so recommend going on the fjords, going to the fjords. It's a beautiful place, especially if it's your first time. We did find out, because the captain said it over the bridge, the majority of guests on this cruise that we went on were first timers. So I really hope if you're watching this and that was your first time, that you had a great time and that you do book again. If anyone has any comments, questions, anything, or if they were on this cruise and you want to tell me all about it, please do let me know by commenting down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in another video.